And I do believe we are properly live now. Hello. Hi. How's it going? I'm a little groggy today. Not gonna lie. But that's okay. I also woke up like a half hour later than I usually do. Luckily I give myself time to lay around in bed before stream usually. But today I didn't have that. I kind of had to get going real quick. That's okay. Oh my gosh. I've got some more honey ginger tea like I had last night. I think I had honey ginger tea in the morning yesterday too. It's good. It's good. I like it a lot. Oh. So, as for today. Today we will be reading the Elves, and we will also probably be reading Fair Catrinel and Piff Paff Poultry, probably. But we'll see. I might not have the energy for a second story. I am very groggy. I also have some leftover iced coffee. I'm gonna slowly sip some of that as well. Hopefully that energizes me enough to read a second story. As it is, this might be an incredibly short stream. Alright. Oh. Just popping some stuff. Haven't really done that yet this morning. Oh, yeah. There we go. Alright. So, we are reading The Elves. And without further ado, there was once a shoemaker who, through no fault of his own, became so poor that at last he had nothing left but just enough leather to make one pair of shoes. He cut out the shoes at night, so as to set to work upon them next morning, and as he had a good conscience, he laid himself quietly down in his bed, and committed himself to heaven, and fell asleep. In the morning, after he had said his prayers, and was going to get to work, he found the pair of shoes made and finished, and standing on his table. He was very much astonished, and could not tell what to think, and he took the shoes in his hand to examine them more closely, and they were so well made that every stitch was in its right place, just as if they had come from the hand of a master workman. Soon after, a purchaser entered, and as the shoes fitted him very well, he gave more than the usual price for them, so that the shoemaker had enough money to buy leather for 2 more pairs of shoes. He cut them out at night, and intended to set to work the next morning with fresh spirit. That was not to be, for when he got up they were already finished, and even a customer was not lacking, who gave him so much money that he was able to buy leather enough for 4 new pairs. Early the next morning, he found the 4 pairs also finished, and so it always happened. Whatever he cut out in the evening was worked up by the morning, so that he was soon in the way of making a good living, and in the end became very well-to-do. One night, not long before Christmas, when the shoemaker had finished cutting out, and before he went to bed, he said to his wife, "How long would it be if we were to sit up tonight and see who it is that does us this service?" His wife agreed and set a light to burn. Then they both hid in a corner of the room behind some coats that were hanging up, and then they began to watch. As soon as it was midnight, they saw come in 2 neatly formed and naked little men, who seated themselves before the shoemaker's table, and took up the work that was already prepared, began to stitch, to pierce, and to hammer so cleverly and quickly with their little fingers that the shoemaker's eyes could scarcely follow them, so full of wonder was he. And they never left off until everything was finished, and was standing ready on the table, and then they jumped up and ran off. The next morning the shoemaker's wife said to her husband, "Those little men have made us rich, and we ought to show ourselves grateful. With all their running about and having nothing to cover them, they must be very cold. I'll tell you what, I will make little shirts, coats, waistcoats, and breeches for them, and knit each of them a pair of stockings, and you shall each make them a pair of shoes." The husband consented willingly, and at night, when everything was finished, they laid the gifts out together on the table, instead of the cut-out work, and placed themselves so that they could observe how the little men would behave. When midnight came, they rushed in ready to set to work, but when they found Instead of pieces of prepared leather, the neat little garments put ready for them. They stood a moment in surprise. Then they showed the greatest delight. With the greatest swiftness, they took up the pretty garments and slipped them on, singing, "What spruce and dandy boys are we, no longer cobblers we will be." Oh no, they're gonna leave. And then they hopped and danced about, jumping over the chairs and tables, and at last they danced out at the door. From that time they were never seen again. But it always went well with the shoemaker as long as he lived, and whatever he took in hand prospered. Oh, okay, it worked out. Hey, being grateful for people will help you out. It works out. Look at that. Oh. Alright. There is a second part to the story. There was once a poor servant maid who was very cleanly and industrious. She swept down the house every day and put the sweepings on a great heap by the door. One morning, before she began her work, she found a letter, and as she could not read, she laid her broom in the corner, and took the letter to her master and mistress to see what it was about. And it was an invitation from the Elves, who wished the maid to come and stand godmother to one of their children. The maid did not know what to do, and as she was told that no one ought to refuse the Elves anything, she made up her mind to go. So there came 3 little elves who conducted her into the middle of a high mountain, where the little people lived. Here everything was of very small size, but more fine and elegant than can be told. The mother of the child lay on a bed made of ebony studded with pearls, the counterpane was embroidered with gold, the cradle was of ivory, and the bathing tub of gold. So the maid stood godmother, and was then for going home, but the elves begged her to stay at least 3 more days with them, and so she consented, and spent the time in mirth and jollity. And the elves seemed very fond of her. At last, when she was ready to go away, they filled her pockets full of gold, and led her back again out of the mountain. When she got back to the house, she was going to begin working again, and took her broom in her hand. It was still standing in the corner where she had left it, and began to sweep. Then came up some strangers, and asked her who she was, and what she was doing. And she found that instead of 3 days, she had been 7 years with the elves in the mountain, and that during that time her master and mistress had died. Oh, wow. So, this must be like one of the origins of the, the elves making time run faster sort of thing, right? I don't know that there's a moral of the story there. Perhaps there is. One moment. I'm gonna mute. I need to blow my nose. Blech. Okay, that's better. One moment, let me have a sip of some ginger tea. I find that the ginger tea first thing in the morning tends to make things clear out a little bit. You know what I mean? Alright, there is a part 3 to the story of the elves. The elves once took a child away from its mother, and left it in its place a changeling with a big head and starting eyes, who did nothing but eat and drink. The mother, in her trouble, went to her neighbors and asked their advice. The neighbors told her to take the changeling into the kitchen and put it near the hearth, and then to make up the fire and boil water into eggshells. That would make the changeling laugh, and if he laughed it would be all over with him. So the woman did as her neighbors advised, and when she set the eggshells of water on the fire, the changeling said, "The old Ivia's forest tree, cooking an eggshell never did I see," and began to laugh, and directly there came in a crowd of elves, bringing in the right child, and they laid it near the hearth, and carried the changeling away with them. Oh. Okay. What an odd little story. Alright. Well, I'm feeling much more properly energized now after a little bit of reading, so we will be reading next Fair Catrinelge, Catrinelge, I don't know, and Piff Paff Poultry. Let me go ahead and type that in. You can understand my consternation with this title, perhaps, then. Oh, wouldn't want to misspell it. Oh, it's Paff Oh my god, it's such a long title. One moment, please. I need to shrink this down. Oh my goodness. There we go. Oh my. Very long title. Oh man. There's gonna be a lot of... Oh, this is just like straight hard German translation, it looks like. That's why I'm gonna be having such a hard time. Oh boy, I hope y'all are ready. Fair Catch an Elves and Piff Paff Poultry. I apologize if I'm butchering these names. Alright, without further ado, let us begin. Good day, Father Hollanth. Many thanks, Piff Paff Poultry. May I be allowed to have your daughter? Oh yes, if Mother Malcho... Milcho? Ah, if Mother Milcho... Milch cow. What the hell? Okay, so it says Mother Malcho. And then in parentheses it says Milch cow. Oh. Oh yes, if Mother Malco. Milko. Milk cow. I'm just gonna call her Malcho. That's what makes sense to me. Brother High and Mighty Sister Kostrout and fair Catrinelge are willing you can have her. Well, where is Mother Malcho, then? She is in the cowhouse, milking the cow. Good day, Mother Malcho. Many thanks, Piff Paff Poultry. May I be allowed to have your daughter? Oh yes, if Father Hollanth, Brother High and Mighty Sister Kostrout, and fair Catrinelge are willing, you can have her. Well, where is Brother High and Mighty, then? He is in the room chopping some wood. Good day, Brother High and Mighty. Many thanks, Piff Paff Poultry. May I be allowed to have your sister? Oh yes, if Father Hollanth, Mother Malcho, Sister Kostrout, and fair Catrinelge are willing, you can have her. Where is Sister Kostrout, then? Well, she is in the garden cutting cabbages. Good day, Sister Kostrout. Many thanks, Piff Paff Poultry. May I be allowed to have your sister? Oh yes, if Father Hollanth, Mother Malcho, Brother High and Mighty, and fair Catrinelge are willing, you may have her. Where is fair Catrinelge, then? She is in the room counting out her farthings. Good day, fair Catrinelge. Many thanks, Piff Paff Poultry. Wilt thou be my bride? Oh, yes, if Father Hollanth, Mother Malcho, and Brother High and Mighty, and Sister Kostrout are willing, I am ready. Fair Catrinelge, how much dowry hast thou? 14 farthings in ready money, 3.5 groschen owing to me, half a pound of dry apples, and a handful of fried bread, and a handful of spices. And many other things are mine, have I not a dowry fine? Alright. Oh my god. Let's see, I think this is the gal asking Piff Paff Poultry. Piff Paff Poultry, what is thy trade? Art thou a tailor, something better? A shoemaker, something better? Oh, okay, here's some response. This is here. Alright, Piff Paff Poultry, what is thy trade? Art thou a tailor, something better? A shoemaker, something better? A husbandman, something better? A joiner, something better? A smith, something better? A miller, something better? Perhaps a broom maker. Ah, yes, that is what I am. Is it not a fine trade? I'm not sure what that's about, but alright. What an interesting little story. The old beggar woman is next on the table. Alright. Woo! That was quite the burp. My apologies. Excuse me. It just came out all at once. Wasn't expecting. Alright. We'll read this, and then we shall read... Yeah. We'll read this, and then we'll call it a day. I'm feeling a little a little groggy still. I want to have a bit more time to a little bit more leeway to properly wake up for work today. All right. But this story is just a half a page long, so we'll just get through it, and then I will bid you all farewell. The Old Beggar Woman. There was once an old woman, but thou hast surely seen an old woman go a-begging before now. This woman begged likewise, and when she got anything, she said, "May God reward you." The beggar woman came to a door, and there by the fire a friendly rogue of a boy was standing warming himself. The boy said kindly to the poor old woman as she was standing shivering thus by the door, "Come, old mother, and warm yourself." She came in, but stood too near the fire, so that her old rags began to burn, and she was not aware of it. The boy stood and saw that, and he ought to have put the flames out. But if he could not find any water, then should he have wept all the water in his body out of his eyes, and that would have supplied 2 fine streams with which to extinguish them. And that's the whole story. I'm not sure what's up with that story, but it's in here. It is one of Grimm's fairy tales. Not sure how to feel about that. Well, I think we will pick up tomorrow with The Jew Among Thorns. Yeah, sounds good. I don't have to work tomorrow, but I'll still get up early for this. Maybe I'll set the stream a little bit later, sleep in a little bit. Who knows? I'll think about it. I like having a consistent time though, more. I don't know. We'll see. I'll think about it. At any rate, everyone who stopped by, thank you very much. If you're watching the VOD, thank you very much also. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I shall see you around again soon. Bye!